Um, OJB Reloaded, actually, it's the idea basically is born out of the fact that I believe strongly I've been given a second chance at life, and I'm appreciating that, and that's why I call it OJB Reloaded. I mean, it's a second chance at life after having a successful kidney transplant. I mean, sometimes these things come out like a 50-50 chance. Some people come out successful with it and some don't come out successful with it. I've had friends that still died on the operating table, some died after and everything. So the truth is, the fact that I've been given the second chance is what's inspired the OJB Reloaded. And for me, OJB Reloaded is not just about doing an album, but it's about using this opportunity at life the second time, at stardom the second time, at popularity, at making money the second time as an opportunity to touch lives. That's what OJB Reloaded is all about, really. The three singles that I dropped, Not Afraid, Zion, and Locho. Actually, Locho is something I dropped last year. That was just before the whole, kidney, problem started. Came down. It's what I dropped then, and because of the situation then, there wasn't enough chance to say one wanted to sit down and promote it. Really, right now we're bouncing back and promoting it. I'm actually working on a new video for it. It's all part of the Reloaded feel, actually. Not Afraid is something that was inspired from reality, a situation that I've been through, and a couple of artists have been through, and some are still going through it, whether they are upcoming or whether they are established or not. It's something that's happening because you find a situation whereby your name is so popular, you're so big, you're so established, so to quote, and then you find you're still battling with some basic things of life like transportation. You're battling with accommodation. You have accommodation problems. Yet you're so big right town, and you probably have over 500,000 people or 200,000 people following you on Twitter and all that. And yet you're still battling with the basic things of life. That's what inspiration is all about. Because artists might not want to talk about it. We all want to talk about we got money, we got houses, we got all those things. But trust me, there are a lot of popular artists. I don't want to mention names, that are going through this situation right now, whereby it's even a struggle to feed, and the moment the stardom life takes over you, normal things can't be the same way again. You can't stroll and say, okay, I'm going to eat at Yaput or Mama Put's place, or go and eat at Yabuki's place. Like before, everything begins to change. You can't because people are expecting so much from you, and you're trying to live the life. So somehow you're unconsciously dying in silence. So Not Afraid is to say that it's a way of me telling people that, look, I know what you're going through. You're popular, and yet you're not living the life of a star. But somewhere along the line you gotta hope and pray, because this was a situation that happened to me. My wife was expecting then, and we had landlord problems, and the landlady just kept going like, look, I'm going to kick people out and all that. And then one of the greatest things you used for threatening me then was you said, look, I know you're a star and you don't want to be disgraced. So every time she brought that up, it was like a scare. So because people were asking that, we thought you guys have so much money like that and all that. And you try to make them understand that it's not because you are spending your money carelessly. I don't think to a large extent, I would say to myself to a large extent, I don't spend my money carelessly. I have a family to take care of, and I spend money doing that. But it gets to a point, quietly I was thinking I could handle this myself, but the deeper it got, I just realized I couldn't do it alone. And I had to put stardom aside, put fame aside, put so many things aside, and especially pride. Because people have asked me a couple of times, how did you feel? Of course I felt a bit ashamed, but again, at the end of the day, I think this has taught me to swallow my pride and understand that, look, life is worth saving. So, Not Afraid is an opportunity to share with artists, let them also know that, there are people who have been through what you're going through. It's not just you alone that's going through it.
Let us make it in a hurry so I can take care of you and my baby. It's not easy, girl, you're being a star, and at the end you ain't got a car. See, out there my funds obtain me, but they don't even know that Two-Face never pay me. No, it's not easy, but I just have to form the FEZ.
You know, as I'm thinking about it right now, I'm considering so many things and realizing that I was just singing and expressing myself and not afraid, you know. The reality of what happened at that point in time. I mean, picture yourself, you're a big star, everybody knows you, they're hailing you from place to place, and it almost looks impossible for you to enter the bus or take Okada or whatever it is, and then, you know, then you still have landlord problems, your wife is pregnant, and that's going down with you, and then you're now faced with people believing that you've done a successful album, you know, a successful album for yourself and a successful album for an artist too. That I've had, in fact, the album went as far as crossing the whole of Africa, to America, to Asia, to Europe, you know what I mean. And so people's expectation will be high. They will believe that I mean, you should be rolling on some serious tip of serious money, you know. So it wasn't like I was dissing Two-Face there. I was just saying that the whole project that brought into limelight, the whole African Queen project, it didn't in any way, I wouldn't say that there was any fantastic benefit I got from it. In fact, the saddest part of it all was, it's not about the money. Even the credits were not properly stated, you understand what I'm saying? People still go back and say, oh, so you did African Queen, which is surprising. I think that's what it's about. It wasn't a diss, it's just a reality that, look, I can't say that, you know, from the African Queen album, when I look at my house and I say, oh, I bought this car when I did African Queen, or like Jamin Dupri say, oh, I bought this house after Usher's, you know, successful album. So I can't say that, you know, I can't say that I had such benefits and all that, which is what I respect about the likes of Don Jazzy and the rest of them, because I mean, they can actually point at things and say, well, I mean, I benefited from the works that I did with, you know, when I was producing the badge and the rest of them. And so all I was trying to say there, people thought I was trying to relate it to, did he give me money for the surgery or not? I want to play that low. I'm not into that now about who gave me or who didn't give me. What I'm about is I'm alive and I'm happy, and I thank God for everybody that supported, you know. But what Not Afraid was all about, Two-Face part was all about his album. It's not about Two-Face itself. It could be about the structure, maybe it's a record label structure or whatever it is that didn't make me get paid or whatever it is. But what I know is that it's about that project, that particular project. That was a very big project. Till now, that's the biggest project. One single album that did over 10 million copies around the world. And that album, I mean, I mean, if I must confess, it is the biggest album that I've produced. And I won't say that, I'm just saying it categorically. You can probably quote me anywhere. That album didn't pay me. So that's just what I was saying there, because people thought that when I walk into places, they say, these ones are the ones chopping Two-Face's money. So as if they're the ones chopping Two-Face's money, so they should drop. And you know, most times I actually drop to keep it coded. But you know, right now, I mean, I don't want to, I mean, see, it's like, as they say, sorry to excuse my French, the whole of Nigeria don't see my English finish now, so waiting day against what are we hiding? It's the way it is, it's the reality of what happened. And it happens to a lot of people too. I mean, I heard that someone like D-Tunes had the same experience, so it happens, you understand what I'm saying? These are realities, they happen.
You're not afraid.
The foundation is OJB Foundation. The idea of OJB Foundation basically is an opportunity definitely to touch lives too. It's new, we just started, we're barely a month old, and the idea is not for us to start doling out funds to people. You know, you must always find a place where you can also be useful to helping people. What we've done is that we've done negotiations with a lot of hospitals in India, with a couple of hospitals, in India, where we can have subsidized treatment, where with $25,000 you can actually do the procedure, you can do the test for the procedure, you can have 6 months drugs after the procedure, and you're staying in India, and you're feeding in India, and your transportation in India within that period that you're going to be there. It's a package which you can actually check anywhere. There's no package like that anywhere in the world, and that's what we're offering. A lot of people have called us and say, oh, we're stranded somewhere, whatever it is, that we need money, please get money to us, or whatever it is. But the truth of the matter is that we can't do that right now because we just started. But what we can offer you is subsidized treatment. If you come to us, we can tell you, we take you to where it'll be far, far, far less than, whatever you would spend in Nigeria or anywhere, to get the procedure done. And so that's what the foundation is offering right now. Very soon, we're also looking out for a way to do a win-win situation whereby we get the society involved in helping these people. We're trying to do a thing before the end of the year, before the last quarter to say, where we take about 20 people out of the country for this procedure. The way we're trying to do it is to start a raffle draw system where the raffle draw is going on, and so from there we can raise funds for the procedure. People would buy raffle tickets, and then whoever wins, there'll be star prizes of like a brand new car, TV, radios, consolation prizes and the rest of them. But the whole idea is to sensitize people to actually donate to helping these 20 people. The 20 people we're talking about is from the whole of Nigeria, from the northern part, south and east, west, we're picking out 20 people. 20 people is not like, let's be factual. I'm sure that if you check it, the amount of people who are suffering from this renal problem, renal situation, I'm sure they go into thousands. But if we start from 20, then we can jack it up to saving 100 people, then we can jack it up to saving 1,000 people, and then probably we can jack it up to a procedure point whereby there'll be more centers for people to do this thing. I think the greatest part of it all is not just for people to do the procedure. I think what we need to work on to is maintenance and prevention process. So one of the greatest things that we're going to start doing right now is actually going out and seeing how we can educate the people from staying away, from allowing the situation to get there. The two main things that take you there is high blood pressure and diabetes. So I guess if we can work out on our balance and our lifestyle, I guess we'll be there.
And you got to realize, girl, I'm here.
The new label, what people were expecting was that it would be J recordings. But what the label is all about now is amazing records, amazing studios, amazing music, amazing films, whatever it is. Amazing records, basically. Amazing records is born out of the fact that when I look at my life the way it is, I think it's amazing. I had urea of over 400 and something. And at the end of the day, with my high urea, I was still able to walk around, talk, probably sing, talk to people and do all that. So it's amazing, I had so many minuses that made it look like I wasn't going to survive the surgery at all. But I'm here today, so it's amazing. That's what Amazing Records is born out of. The management I'm working with, Tarek, James, and Bosun, they are two guys working together on me on this. We brainstorm a lot of ideas and see what we can do to move things forward to the next level. I think that with the new record, with the new everything, with the new label, the new management and all that, I think we have the sky as probably our beginning on its own limit.
Back out, the roof is on fire. We don't need no water, letter.
Fraternity. I don't know what to say about that, but I don't know. I think we are in a society or at a time where people seem to believe less in God. They seem to believe less that God can actually do things. They seem to believe less that God can actually make things happen. People become suspicious if all of a sudden you're driving an expensive car, you move into a nice apartment. Everybody suspects, it's either he's doing drugs or is into some occultic movement or something. But why don't they always think that, oh, God could actually do it? Because if you think about the miracle of the fact that it was in a week that the whole money that we raised, we got the money we raised, and that was God. There was no secret movement there and everything. So if I do belong to a cult, if I do say so myself that I do belong to a cult, it will be the highest cult of all, and that's the highest cult. That's the cult of God Himself, and that's what I belong to. So play your minds. Trust me. Everything you see happening is God. God is real. It's very real. He's on the throne. I think if you want to liken God, you could say the devil is like telling a 10-year-old boy, take the keys to my brand new Rolls Royce and drive. You kill yourself, that's your business, but I've given it to you. But God is like, no, why don't you mature to that point where you can actually handle it? So that's just the difference. It's not like God is slow or God cannot do things, please. He does it every day. You understand what I'm saying? He does it. I'm a living testimony to that. So I'm not a member of anything. I'm not a member of anything, that's just all. Talking about the album itself, I don't know whether the album is going to be called OJB Reloaded. I don't know whether it's going to be called Days of Jezreel. I don't know what the album will be called yet, but what I can assure you is that it's definitely going to be the bomb. It's going to be a compilation of that time, this time, and the future. We're not settled down to saying this is the amount of tracks that we're doing. We're looking at, we have nothing less than how they put it. From 73 songs, we had to peak from 73 songs to actually come at this, at the amount of numbers that we're trying to, from 73 we're trying to cut down all the way to maybe 15 or thereabout, to 16, we'll try our best. The 73 songs we recorded over the space of 2 years, even up to now, which is from 2012 to 2014. So we would peak the best as much as we can, the label and the management, and see what we would arrive at. Sometimes we might even go and throw back to some songs that were done 10 years ago and see how we can fit it into now. So that's what's going to happen. Let's see what we come up with.
Beautiful as you are.